the amberjacks, aka the gangster fish. They've been quite prolific over the last week, breaking tackle, smashing people to bits.
It's the sardines. Where are they? Why are they not here? Why have they disappeared?
There's the near and C21 species. That is going to be the highlight of the North Coast.
There you go, buddy. Hit now!
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green.
Hey, hello anglers. It has been Cobb and Garrick chaos on our coastline, hence our cover. Guys, it has been an epic week, a massive week. What a week to kick off the school holidays in KZN. Absolutely brilliant, starting off at Blue Lagoon with my man Fabian with that monstrous cob. As for the North Coast, going absolutely nuts with that offshore action. And the South Coast, oh my goodness, it is Shad and Garrick Bamboo Junction of note down there. Margate Pier absolutely cracking, double clutching from our man Michael. All right, so that's what's been going on our coastline. It is absolutely lit with the holiday makers. I love it. Tourism is booming in KZN. That's what it's about. What a glorious time to be an angler. What a blessed time to be a child of KZN. Can it get any better? Oh, I think it would be, because news from Adam is that he still believes that there are all signs of the sardines that's yet to come. Now, we're going to get into it as we always do. You are in Hotspot Central for those bending rods. But before we get into it, guys, as always, here's a huge, massive shout out to our sponsors, the Kingfisher.
Meet the all-new Crossfire LT, redesigned to transform every cast into a moment worth remembering. With advanced air drive design, feel ultra-smooth, effortless rotation that is light, clean, and incredibly responsive. At its core, tough digigear delivers lasting durability and consistent power, cast after cast. The LC ABS spool boosts your casting distance while reducing line trouble, giving you total control on the water. And when the pressure's on, the ATD Type L drag system keeps things smooth, steady, and in your hands. Lightweight, strong, and reliable. The Crossfire LT available in sizes 1000, 2000, 3000C, and 4000C. Fish smarter, fish smoother, fish Crossfire LT. Available at tackle stores nationwide.
Thank you, the Kingfisher, guys. This show could not be possible without the Kingfisher, right? We absolutely love them. And they had a massive sale. So huge thank you to everyone that attended the sale. And you know what? I am so excited and I was so thrilled to have shared those moments with you, all those guys that came around and we took our selfies together. That's what it's about. It's about the spirit, the camaraderie, talking fishing, and getting excited and amped for the weekend. So while we are getting amped, let's get amped with the news from Durban. We are with Mike V and a cracking report from Brad Krobler.
How's it, guys? It's been a bit quiet on the shore side of fishing these last few days. Sardines have made a duck. Let's hope that they pitch up soon. Guys are getting very anxious for them to arrive properly. But saying that, when the conditions have been right, there have been some lovely fish caught. Quite a few big doggers have come out the last few weeks. The last couple of days, I've heard of one of 20 on our Durban North beaches and one of 25 on the Durban North beaches. So, yeah, they are around. There's been quite a few Garrick around. The guys are getting the live bait, putting the hard hours, and they're getting quite a few good Garrick. The biggest one I've heard of so far, touching 18-ish. So, yeah, there have been some lovely edibles caught. One or two GTs in the mix, but saying that there's been a couple blackfin eating the live baits. I heard of a Zambia of 80 being caught at Blue Lagoon. There's some big greys being caught as well. Grey sharks wise, they're still around at Eddington. Guys are getting the odd one down there. Up at Drumshane on the Durban North beaches, the odd one is floating around. So it is well worth going out there, putting in the time and getting a good bite. And the paddle ski and ski boat side, quite a few kuta coming out, some big slabs being caught. Apparently quite a few wahoo were caught as well. Yellowfin tuna made a show. So yeah, it's been fun for the guys catching the game fish on the paddle skis and ski boats. Geelbek, doggers, rock cards, all that stuff the guys have been putting in and they've been getting. They've been getting some good numbers as well. Durban Bay has been on the quiet side again. One or two nice grunters coming out, couple kingies here and there. But it does slow down this time of the year a bit. Maybe if we get a bit of rain, pushes some stuff down the canals, maybe the bite will warm up a bit. Guys, thank you very much. This is Mike V for NSA News.
Good day, guys. Brad here from Rinsky Fishing Charters. Guys, the fishing of the Durban area for ski boats over the last week. Guys, let's just go on for the game fish side. Guys, there's been some snook and some kuta And then if you really want to spend quite a bit of time touring around, there's been one or two sailfish off the north. I would say that's some floaty towards Belito side, and quite a few nice quality yellowfin tuna also around. In there around the ships, there was one Dorado, but it's not really worthwhile going to chase them. They're pretty small little baby rats. On the bottom fishing side, your general slingers, soldiers, rock hards, and then we come to the real fun guys, the amberjacks, aka the gangster fish. They've been quite prolific over the last week, breaking tackle, smashing people to bits. Yeah, guys, and also Geelbek, but the amberjacks have been our main target species and really has been fun. Guys, this is Brad for Angling News South Africa. Tight lines. Speak to you guys all next week.
Thank you, Mike and Brad. As always, a fantastic way to kick off the show. Yeah, we wanted a bit more rock and surf action, but hey, like we said, that news from Fabian out of Blue Lagoon with that cob. This guy's on fire right now. He's catching cob. He's catching Garrick. He's the talk of the town. He's the hero of Blue Lagoon right now. Huge shout out to him. Right, so there is some rock and surf action. And yes, there are the gray sharks are around. Look, hey, the harbor still got some fish. But as for that offshore news, the gangsters, the amberjacks, they are out there and they are getting those anglers' rods bending and tussling, and they are loving every moment when they finally hit the deck. Well, there's also a whole lot that has been lost in between, don't get me wrong. Those are some serious bosses out there. But now, while we're talking about fish, while we're talking about that variety and that mixed bag of fish, let's head on up to the North Coast. We are with Michaela Daniels, who's also been rocking it. Nice amber from them last week. She's also got a couple cruiser. Guys, here's a report of what's been going on all the way up to St. Lucia.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban, reporting for Angling News. It's been another insane week of fishing along our coastline, and kicking things off at Blue Lagoon, where there's still a few Garrick coming out off the bricks, as well as a few lovely sized darga, but it's mainly still shad and grunts on the bite. For the guys at Beechwood, there's been shad coming out in the late afternoons, but it's mainly still been edibles on the bites. Moving up to Virginia, the shad is still coming out, as well as a few grunter and the usual scratching species, while for our Mhlanga anglers, there's still a few shad coming out amongst the usual grey sharks and rays. For the offshore side of things, Durban is still hot with Snoek, Kuta and Garrick, while there's also been a few Dorado around, while for the bottom side of things, there's still lovely darga and Geelbek coming out amongst the usual reds and rockhards, while there's also still quite a few amberjacks coming out too. For Mkloti, there's still some nice Kuta and Snoek coming out with the odd Garrick in between, and for the bottoms, the guys are still getting into some lovely darga, rockhard, rubber lips and Geelbek. Moving right up the coast to Belito, there's still shad and cob coming out, while St. Lucia is still producing shad, a few cob and some rays. For the offshore side, Belito is still firing with snook, big kuta, yellowfin tuna and a few dorado, while St. Lucia is still producing some lovely snook, kuta and yellowfin tuna. That's going to be it from me for this week, guys. Tight lines and have a great one.
Michaela, choices of where to fish up on the North Coast. Well, I'll tell you one area I am going to be fishing this weekend. It is Richards Bay. It is the Mere and Sea 21 species. That is going to be the highlight of the North Coast, guys. It is North Coast's biggest party. Please do me a favor. If you are around in the area, swing on by. I'm going to be there from Friday to Sunday. It's going to be an absolute joy out there. But more than that, 21 species to target. Oh, that's sounding very, very exciting. I can't wait to see the variety of fish that comes out, and I can't wait to share that excitement with the kids on the bank. That competition is absolutely awesome. Please swing on by if you are heading up there. All right, so that's the North Coast, but still sticking with the North Coast, and in the center of it to Gala Banks, we are with my man Richard, who has some news of some good shad action that's coming out, as well as a good couple cob.
From Labota Ski Boat Club at Tegela Mouth. And this week's surf fishing report is one of having to work hard for bites, as wind direction, wind speed and fall in air pressure were all challenges. That said, good eating size cob from the established beach marks, the Tegela estuary produced some notable grunter, and the mullet were getting a damn good workout being chased by the increasing population of grunter. As the locals are now being joined by the seasonal holidaymakers, 99% of Garrick is being caught using a live mullet bounced out using a non-return rig. Grunter, notably caught at the mouth itself, preferring worm or prawn, and cob and shad tend to be taken on sardine or Japanese mackerel coated in a piece of squid. But that said, local at Tian Kloop, this week's only double-digit cob, taken on a long shank hook presented ocky leg. Tight lines, guys.
Richard, your legend. Thank you so much for the updates out of Tugela. All right, so one double-figure cob, good couple amount of shad, the hot spots to get out there. Ooh, North Coast is sounding shanana. All right, but don't forget, the South Coast has something to say. That's coming on later on in the show. For now, we are heading up to the Midlands with my man Jan and this week's freshwater report.
Hey there, guys. While it still appears that we are in summer mode, the wider forecasts have some frontal action coming up from the deep south, and there are some warnings of snow impending. It will actually be rather nice to have some sign that we are still, in fact, in the middle of winter, and a proper snowfall will be beneficial to the catchments and the waters that they supply. On the trout fishing front, the waters of the Natal Fly Fishers Club have seen some good action over the last week or so. With water temperatures still on the slightly warm side in the double-figure range, bigger fish have been absent from the returns over this little week or so, but as no doubt, they are still betwixt and between deciding on whether to go in full spawn mode. And if you're watching the barometer, it looks like a trail runner's elevation profile, not exactly flat, with lots of ups and downs. As a result, the fish that have been coming to hand are primarily what we call second-year stockies in the 11 to 15 inch, that is 28 to 38 centimeter bracket, but there have been a couple of better specimens showing up in the 15 to 17 inch, that is 38 to 43 centimeter class. If you want to get that bite, fast-stripping gaudy patterns, for example, white and orange, seem to be the way to go to get that bend in the rod that we're all after, and then low and slow to upgrade to those bigger specimens with more natural patterns, for example, a leech in black, brown, and olive. As is usual for winter, bass fishing remains on the lowdown, but there have been some reports of fish coming from both Albert Falls and Midmar dams. Water temperatures are still up, and fish are reportedly showing signs of spawning behavior. And there is, of course, that continuous discussion on the Albert Falls water quality. Kingfisher would like to extend a hearty thank you to all of our customers that came in and supported our massive 30th birthday sale. Guys, thank you very much for stopping by and coming in to say hello. And do stop in the Kingfisher Maritzburg for the best in tackle advice. This is Jan Carball reporting for Kingfisher Maritzburg and for Angler News South Africa.
Thank you so much, Jan. Never failing to deliver a very knowledgeable report. You're an absolute legend, my friend. All right, so now let's head on back down to the coastline. Let's head on down to the Mid-South where we are with Ray Thompson, who's not completely smiling. However, there is some possibilities of certain areas that are firing more than the others. Let's hear all about it.
With this big sea that we've had over the last couple of days and the weather forecast, there's been very few fish around. The only place that has had anything worthwhile talking about is Umkomaas. There's been quite a few shad, and every now and again those cob pitch up. But of course, with the strawberry moon that is now coming up and our full moon that we're having over the next day or two, guys, go out there, have some fun. Far south, and far south. That is where you need to go. You've got a better chance than anywhere else. Have a great day.
All right, Ray. So it seems as though Umkomaas is the area to be in the Mid-South. However, the suggestions are pointing south. So let's head down to the south. We are with our South Coast guru, Adam, with exactly everything that's going on down there.
Hey, Vinesh, East Coast Radio, and all the listeners out there. I hope everybody has had a beautiful week so far. Now, I just want to start off by saying congratulations, Vinesh, and your 20-year anniversary tomorrow. What a milestone to reach, my brother. Honestly, happy anniversary. Now, getting over to the fishing side of things have definitely been a little bit exciting down the South Coast with a little bit of the quietness also just sort of lurking in the background, that sort of big elephant in the room. And we know exactly what it is. It's the sardines. Where are they? Why are they not here? Why have they disappeared? Now, there are loads of different reasons and loads of different explanations, and we know all of them, from water temperature, pollution, season, Chinese trawlers, whatever you wish to say. But one thing I will say, though, definitely is going on past years' experiences and speaking to guys that have been around way longer than I have and in the fishing industry way longer than I have, when we're getting shoals of quarantine, shad biting like dom every now and again, it normally precedes, red eyes and mackerel popping through. We're getting, shoals of pinkies. That normally means we have an awesome sardine season and the big shoal is on its way. So I'm hoping that in the next sort of this coming week, that we are going to see more of those sards. The guys have seen them further down south, but there's just been no bird activity, just nothing really to write home about. However, that being said, the guys that have gone out down here on the south coast, they've been getting Garrick, they've been getting kingies, they've been getting snook, they've been getting some monster-sized blacktail and stone bream. So it's been happening, but just not fireworks just yet. I mean, the shad that they got the other night, yes, it was shot for 2 nights in a row off Margate Pier. We've seen some Garrick popping up, which is lovely to see that again. A couple of kingies around. The Oaks have lost and landed a few. We've had a few guys trip and fall at Margate Pier, which, please just be careful, Oaks. It's Margate Pier at the end of the day. But otherwise, yes, guys, things have been a little bit quiet on the sardine front, but let's just not give up just yet. Let's just wait and see a couple more days, a few more days of some good weather, some colder water. I'm sure we are going to start seeing fireworks because everything prior to this is looking like that is exactly what it's shaping up to be. Otherwise, guys, stay safe, tight lines, and let's see those catches.
Adam, we can always depend on you to round off the show in such Adamish fashion. Guys, Adam is back in form, right? I mean, he's recovered. He's getting out there. He's in the thick of it. He's in the mix of the anglers. And that is exactly what he has been reporting on because he is in the heart of all the action. And that action is down on the further south coast. And I love this man's positivity. He really, truly believes the sardines are still coming. Hey, look, I'm not dismissing it. I've got reports that, they're still out there in Transkei. They're pretty deep. Whether they're going to come here, I don't know. However, I love Adam's optimism. All right. So that is the South Coast. Guys, that's our report for this week. So we've got fish in Durban, not fireworks, but you know what? Fabian, you legend, showing us that there is some big life out there. Garrick and Cobb Chaos, like our title says. All right, we know we definitely got fish up on the North Coast and that Mirans here 21 species. Once again, guys, swing on by. Say, how's it? We had an absolute blast at the Kingfisher sale last week. We know we're going to be rocking those waves on the North Coast at Richards Bay. So, 21 species, that's on the cards for this weekend. Midlands, well, yep, those bass are coming up. The trout is out there. As for the South Coast, let's head on down there. Let's fish in Adamstown. Let's fish with Mike and Angie. Let's make some noise on that Margate Pier. It seems to be cracking. It seems to be the party of the South Coast. So, North Coast is alive. South Coast is alive. Durban, what's going on apart from the horses? Well, we will find out very soon. Let us know in the comments if you are fishing out of Durban and what you're going to be catching out there. But for now, all I can say is, get out there, get those lines wet, get those rods bending, be nice to the tourists, and until the next one.
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Bream. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.